Week 33, day 2, and we're discussing developing leadership. You are going to be the number one role model at your school, at your business, at your home for being a positive leader. There are 3 components to being a leader. Leaders may either be negative or positive, but none can do without these 3 parts. You got 3 parts to being a leader. Simple as it can be. Number 1 is the head. You got to have the knowledge to lead. The first thing you got to know is you got to know the people that you're leading. We used to have a lock-in before we began the season, and a great deal of that time at the lock-in, we did exercises and to make sure that they knew each other. You got to know who it is that you're leading. You can't lead them if you don't know who they are. You got to know where they're coming from. I've said it before. I never coached a football team that I didn't go to the players' houses. Do I enjoy it? No, I didn't enjoy it. And that's another 2 hours every day in the spring of added on to what you're already doing. But if you're going to lead somebody, you better know where they're coming from. You better know if they got 1 parent, 2 parents, if they got grandparents, if they live in a shack, if they live in a mansion. You better find out where they're coming from if you think you're going to lead them. The second thing, the head, is you got to know where you're going. You've got to have a vision. You've got to have a vision that others can see. In other words, I've got to be able to explain to you where we're going. I've got to say, here's where we're going. It's just exactly like when you get on an airplane, what's the first thing they tell you? This plane is going to, and whatever the destination is. Now, if you're not going there, you need to get off. Well, that's what a good leader does. A good leader says, now, here's where we're going. This is what we're going to do. We used to start every year with 3 assumptions. Number 1, I assume you want to be the best person you can be. And we're going to teach character 15 minutes every day, in and out of season. We're going to help you become the best you that you can be. Number 2, I assume you want to be the best football player that you can be. If this were a family I was talking to, I would say I assume you want to be the best son or daughter that you can be. And then I explained to him why we're doing the football practices and why we're doing the unit grades and why we're doing the MVPs and everything that we're doing, so that you'll be the best football player you can be. And if you'll listen and cooperate, never compete, you'll be the best football player you can be. And number 3 assumption was you want to be a part of a championship team. Now what that means is you may have to be a Ryan Hinch and play center after playing quarterback in junior high. See, the team needs you at center. Now, your dad probably thinks you ought to be playing quarterback, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's not wrong. You could be a quarterback. But we need a guard, or we need a linebacker, or we need somebody to cover on the kickoff. You want to be a part of a championship. That's the assumption. So when we sit down to make out the punting team, I never did say, well, I wonder what Johnny wants to do. He told me when we began, I told him what the 3 assumptions were, and he guaranteed me he wanted to do what we were going to do. You got to know where they want to go. Third, you got to have a plan to get them there. You're never going to be a great leader if you don't have a plan. If you don't have a plan, just like that first assumption, I assume you want to be the best person you can be. Okay, here's 36 qualities. This is a curriculum that has been proven to improve your self-image. This is a curriculum that has been research-based and proven to increase your attendance and decrease discipline referrals. We're going to do it 15 minutes every day. I don't care what our record is. but we're going to do it. Number two, I'm assuming you want to be the best football player. We've got a plan. We've got a plan to get you stronger. We've got a plan to get you faster. We've got a plan to give you the opportunity on every side of the ball to be the best. I assume you want to be a part of a championship team, and we've got a plan for that. Number two, you got to have a heart. See, there has to be a passion within you. You have to get goosebumps when you have that vision that you want to get to, and you've got to be able to relay those goosebumps to it, because you're going to go through some tough times. You got to read the book of Nehemiah in the Old Testament. Nehemiah wanted to rebuild the wall at Jerusalem, and he had such a passion for it that he went to the king knowing full well that if the king was angered at it, they would kill him. He was willing to give his life to go back to Jerusalem and rebuild the wall. That's the type of passion. If you're going to go to a new school, you've got to have a passion. I mean a passion to get it done. That's the heart. If you're a father, you've got to have a passion to want to be the best father you can be. If you don't have the heart, if you don't have the head, you don't have a chance. If you don't know what you're doing. If you don't have the heart, if you don't have a passion, first time something bad comes along, you're going to quit. That's not a leader. That's no leader. Anytime you quit, you're a negative leader. But the third thing you got to have, the most important one, you got to have a backbone. You got to have a head, a heart, and a backbone. The first two qualities are found in many people. This is the quality that separates the true leaders. Who's got the backbone? We used to have a little deal, and we practiced it. When it was 3rd down and 1, and we had a play that we were going to run on 3rd and 1, and everybody knew what it was. And we were going to run behind somebody. And it was usually our best lineman, unless we were going to try to throw for a touchdown or something. And we would have the guy next to him reach over and feel of his backbone, just to kind of remind him, you're the leader. We believe you can do it. We know you got a passion to do it. Now, what I want to know is, do you have the backbone to do it? I got a question for you. Big, big, big question. How many parents do you think have the head? They know what to do. How many parents have the passion to be good parents? How many have the backbone? I cannot tell you how many times I've sat in a conference with a parent and a parent tell me, he just won't do anything I tell him to. They know what to do. They got the heart to do it. They just don't have the backbone to do it. How many teachers do you know? How many coaches do you know? How many coaches do you know that know football? They know a program. They know all these technical skills. And boy, they got an amazing passion. And they got no backbone. The first time something political comes along or something, they're willing to bend. And we're going to let the team vote. Yeah, we're going to vote. We're going to let the team vote. I know what to do and I got a passion to do it. But in place of my backbone, I'm going to hope the team votes the way it should. That's an elimination of the backbone. Politicians are the most notorious. They know what to do. They got a passion to do it, but they don't anymore have it. But they're going to vote the way the party votes. That's the lack of backbone. Simple as it can be. If you're going to be a great leader, And you are. You're going to be a great leader because you're going to understand. You got to have a head, know what to do. You got to have a heart, to have a passion to do it. And number three, you've got to have the backbone, and you're going to develop that backbone. I guarantee you, because you're going to be a great leader. See you tomorrow.